that's my stomach. I may shit myself before this one's over. Oh, oh, folks, don't drink beer. That's high ABV.
There's
Oof.
apparently something wrong with Imperial. What is it? Imperial Pale? I've literally never heard of that.
I don't know. It's an Imperial Pale Ale. It's a Cashmere Shangri-La from Off the Square Brewing, and
For when a regular
uh,
pale just isn't enough for you.
ah, yeah. So it's a bunch of cashmere hops and a lot of honey, and that's pretty brutal on its own. But then it's also 11% ABV, so it is. Oof. It's like I didn't read that part of the can, so it was like drinking cough syrup. I'm like, I'm not so sure about this. And then I pick up the can. I'm like, that was bad.
I can't handle that strong stuff
Ugh.
anymore. I mean, unless if I'm like sipping a scotch or something. I just
I don't know what it is, man. Like booze is fine, but like high
the
that
beer, yeah, right.
something about it, man.
It's like heartburn. It hits
Excuse
you
me.
hard.
Oof.
I don't know because I used to be able to
Oof.
drink that kind of stuff, but now,
I've never been huge. I've never been a huge fan of it, but
yeah.
this is like fuck me.
I've,
Anyways,
I've liked it,
welcome to
but
the
I've had
episode.
yeah, right, right. I've had to get me in trouble for where like you pick up a 6 pack of something, and 3 in, you're like, dude, let's do something stupid like I don't know,
Mm,
surf on the top of your car, and then you're looking at like you're like, what is happening to me? Why am I like this? And you look at the side, like you said, and it's like this is 10% alcohol.
yeah, so this is a
That's
bad idea.
what happened. Like, and you're 3 in, like,
Yeah,
and you're going, oh shit, like.
yeah.
Normally this would be like, I'm 12 in. Instead, I'm 3.
I may not finish this. I might have to switch out here.
There's nothing wrong with that, buddy. Nobody has to know. It's not like we're broadcasting it to the
That's
world
true.
or anything.
No one
Um,
knows.
but Shangri-La, that's what you're drinking, huh?
Yes,
All
yes, it
right, cool.
is. It is
Well,
something.
so I got a story from mine this week because,
All right.
as usual, you hate my boss because he's the best boss in all of history. So my boss,
Quite true.
we haven't updated the keg yet, folks, but Um, he he did decide that I think he went up north for like a Packers game or something, and
Oh
decided
Jesus.
he wanted some Spotted Cow
I was
Brewery.
gonna say. I was gonna
Uh,
say. I know what he bought. Yep. I
and
bought some the last time I was up there too.
okay, well apparently he like ordered. I guess he didn't. Again, he's pretty well off. Okay, so he I guess he told the guy like, yeah. I'll take 4 cases of that stuff. It's delicious. And I think he
Mm-hmm.
thought like a case was like a box of 4 6 packs or something. And I think a
Right.
case was like 4 boxes
Yeah.
instead of. So he ended up with like a shit ton. So at work the other day,
Oof.
right before Thanksgiving, he's like, "Hey man, you like Spotted Cow, right?" And I'm like, "I think I do." Uh, he's like, "Do you want a 6 pack?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't want to mooch off you, man. I mean, I struggle, but." And he's like, "No, no, I ordered way too much." So he gave,
Jeez.
gave me a 6 pack. He told me if I make it through the weekend and he still has some, I bring some into work next week.
Good God.
Anyway, so cheers, folks. You're ever up in Wisconsin?
Oh.
Spotted Cow
Yeah, that's good stuff. Cheers to that.
from New Glarus, New Glarus
New
Brewing.
Glarus.
I'm
Yes,
murdering
sir.
it, but it's good. It's tasty. It's a nice little ale, and it's not 11% alcohol or whatever you're drinking. It's like 4% or something. So, and it's good.
Yeah.
I've been kind of sipping it all week, and it's my last one. So.
Dun dun
But yeah, I've got some
dun.
Maker's Mark and Diet Ginger Ale
Ooh.
here to keep me company. And then if we
Yes.
really get
Yes, you're
nasty, I've got a follow up Shafley for
yes, you're
later on,
gallon o makers, yes.
just in case you need it. But for today, what do we
For
got on the
today.
agenda, man? What are we looking at this evening
Oh,
in episode
shit
108?
balls.
If you build it, they won't come. Jason,
Correct.
you're in your
That is a
titles. Uh,
direct. That's our first kickoff right there, which is the with the wonderful state of Michigan is developing an electrified road to wirelessly charge EVs. So I think this is like the whole key
from the
charging for your
hill.
phone. Yeah,
Yeah.
except it'll be your car probably.
Yeah,
I think this is a pretty neat idea, honestly. I think it's sort
definitely.
of, I guess it kind of solves the problem of the electric car taking over the gas car is how, when, and where do you charge it? So I guess if you're charging it as you're driving it, then hey, that works too, right?
Right. Right.
Um,
Potentially. Right.
yes,
But you
yes,
pointed out a fairly big flaw in this one, which is part of I think where the title comes from. Right.
yeah, that's yeah. You got to have electric cars, and I guess the other thing is like so, and I don't know enough about wireless charging, but to me it seems like for it to work, the charger and the charging battery both have to be pretty close, which might
Yeah.
be problematic while driving and changing lanes. And then what also, they don't move at 60 miles an hour past each other. So
Right.
I, I don't, I don't know if there's some magic jump in technology that Michigan has that no one else on the entire planet has. Doubtful.
Yeah.
Um, very doubtful. But hey, I'm game for it. Why not? It's sounds pretty fucking phenomenal. I guess the other thing I always wonder about is like with wireless charging,
Hmm.
the inductive charging, and I'm not a Tesla freak, so I don't know all the particulars of it, but
Right. Me
it
neither.
seems, I don't know, maybe it might be problematic. So I got wireless charging on my phone, and you put the charger down on the wireless charger, and there's like a little bit of a drag because it uses magnets, but I don't really know why. But anyways, it does.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's I guess the biggest problem for me is that a phone isn't a car, and a car isn't a phone, and this is a road, and I don't know, man. I like it. The article is super slim. It sounds like, I mean, basically, if you read it, it basically is like it sounds like a venture cap thing where it's like, "Hey, we're gonna do this, and you should just give us the money now." And it's like, "Oh yeah,
Right.
that sounds great." And it's like,
What she's kind of. I
"Where's
mean,
the details?"
I think Whitmire's kind of making a political statement here, right? That we were the first state to have paved roads, and now we're going to be the first state to have a paved road with inductive charging in it, and they're doing a mile stretch, folks. So again, they're
That's
not like the entire interstate in
how
Michigan. Like, no, it's
how exactly are they going to even calculate that charging took place if you're going to drive if you're driving a mile a minute at 60 miles
right.
an hour?
Well, unless and again, the article doesn't say what
Yeah,
part of road, but it is going to be in Detroit. So what they might be doing, like we're thinking while they're driving,
nobody
what she
drives
might
slow
mean,
through Detroit, but
what she might mean is like they're going to do the sides of the road too, so that if there's parking along the side of the road there, you can
oh, I mean
charge what right, and then that makes a lot more sense. Versus, I
that's
think you and I are
phenomenal.
both thinking like I'm driving and charging at the same time. Sounds
That would be
great, but we might
that
not
would
be
be
there yet.
super cool. I don't know if that technology works like that. I mean, that's
So
the crazy thing.
I didn't know either. So when you sent this over, I went and did some digging, and there is an adapter you can get for some Teslas and a couple other vehicles right now to do inductive charging on those. But from what I
Right.
understand from looking at the article and elsewhere, this is a fleet thing, and
Mm,
so it's less
makes sense.
about my individual car and more about how this is going to work for
City
fleets,
buses.
right? So potentially. Yeah, and she mentions that, or someone mentions that at some point here in the
Well,
article,
that's
and I,
cool.
yeah, and I went and
I
looked
mean,
into that, and that's apparently a lot more popular. And there are vehicles like buses that are coming with this inductive charging
yeah.
stock on them.
Well, see,
Um,
it makes
didn't
sense. I
know,
mean, most municipal vehicles spend most of their time just idling and
right?
killing the environment. I mean, I know we like to pretend like it's the people, but what the like one of the number one parts that are replaced on cop cars? Water pumps, because they just sit there and idle fucking forever.
I don't doubt it. I'm sure,
Yeah,
right? And so if we
yeah.
can change over on municipal vehicles, and again, that might ultimately end up being police cars too. Even things like
Trash trucks.
buses, trash trucks, all these things that we rely on that are necessary for our infrastructure from day to day. If we can switch that over to EV technology, and then convert our city roads into this inductive charging, that could be super useful. We covered it on the podcast maybe a year ago, but they were working on like solar roads that were like going to be glass with solar panels underneath them, and we thought that sounded insane, but apparently
That
that's
still sounds
it
insane.
still sound like when I say it, it sounds nuts. But apparently, it's totally possible and would work even with huge semis, and allegedly
Mm,
lasts longer than the current asphalt that we're using now. But
Mm.
when I say it, I go, that doesn't it sounds nuts. But the potential for modernizing our roads to be something like this, this could be the future, right? When I say it right now, it sounds like sci-fi, and this kind of sounds like a political, you know, bit of nonsense, right? Go Michigan, right? But again, long term, eventually this could be a real thing, and Michigan's just starting off maybe a little early. So as long as
Yeah,
inductive charging takes off for, like you said, for municipal things, for buses, for dump trucks,
I think it makes sense. I mean,
it could make
it's
perfect sense. But but it sounds weird,
drive your school bus into the lot and you park it and it charges up and then you come back in the morning to drive it and
right?
take the kids to and from. And I mean, I think that's like I think that's the ultimate fantasy thing, right? Is like you don't
Hmm.
have plugs, so you just park in your space, or you park in your garage, and your shit charges, and you don't have to think about it, and you don't have to think about it, and don't have to think about it, and
Right?
then the giant solar flares come, and Jason's happy.
Wipe out everything.
Anyways,
Jason throws
so
a party. No, I think that's great, and we covered this too a while back. But a gal over in God, some university in Arizona had developed a crazy inductive charging that could cover an entire room, and they're still
oh,
working out the kinks on their patent. But it's basically could be inductive charging for our phones for everything instead of having to do like what you described, like setting it down on a pad and yay, it's charging wirelessly. I'm so cool.
yeah,
Like
it's all
instead,
that's
it's
Tesla tech. That's just Tesla tech.
and
That was like the biggest thing that Tesla was
I
like.
know he was all about it.
We can wirelessly send electricity, and everybody thought he was a fucking psychopath, and
Well, I
turns out
think
you can do it.
he was trying
So
to use radio waves to do it. I think, and they haven't been able to make that work. But what this gal has done does work.
yeah,
Right now, it's very expensive, but what we're
sure,
potentially looking at is a future where, like, your office building or your house has a thing in the wall, which is kind of looks like a giant magnet that is sending
right,
out waves throughout the room, just like your Wi-Fi does. Only those waves are trickle charging your phone and
yeah.
every device that you have. I was just listening to a sci-fi podcast, the vast what is it, Vast Horizon or something, really cool. But one of the things in
Mm,
it that a gal's got
excuse me.
a bionic legs and a bionic arm, and normally they're charged inductively. So just when she's walking around on the spaceship, they're constantly
Hmm.
charged. But the spaceship goes into emergency power, and so she's running out of battery. And
Oh,
this made me think of that because what
I
a
was
glorious future, right?
yeah, I was like the idea where they figured out how to have fake. They've got like I can't remember. I think it's like nano robots. So one of the ways that they're going to power nano robots is using static electricity. So just
Yeah.
motion or even being in motion, moving stuff around and causing static electricity and charging the nano robots. I mean, that's pretty fucking exciting.
Yeah,
Um,
or just kinetic energy from like you move your arm, and I mean that's something you
yeah,
see in
I've got.
D and Starfinder, right? And it charges the
Well,
ring on
I
your
mean, not.
arm.
I mean, not really. I mean, I've got watches that do that.
Okay, well there you go.
I mean,
See,
and that's just all mechanical shit. You know, it's just it's a I guess it's a matter of factoring, right? Like how much can you move, and then how else can you do it? But I
and
don't know.
how
I mean,
much
it's
energy do you need to get out of that, right? So
right.
if it's not very much, sure,
I mean,
right?
it's all rather exciting. I guess the other thing I never understood. And I guess I should probably learn a little more. It's like inductive charging. Like, I mean, we all. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, there's a lot of shit flying around in the airs these days. And like, does inductive charging add like one more thing, or does it interfere with anything else? You're like,
That's a good
you know,
question.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a curious thing. It's like if you go that way, you make a room that's completely inductive charging. Well, is there stuff you can't do in it, or is there things that what's the fallout from that? Does it fuck up other shit or not? Does it like screw with other electronics? So
Right.
I don't know.
I
Kind of
mean,
curious.
the one that the gal from Arizona was working on doesn't mess with Wi-Fi and is supposed to be safe and is supposed to
Hmm.
be fine for most 5G security cameras and things. But I was just looking into it because I was curious. I mean, it's way too expensive for someone to prototype put in their house right now. But they're launching, and there
Hey
are
man,
companies that are doing it. So
don't forget, Velcro was a NASA product.
right,
Velcro was developed for what was it? I think it was a DARPA project.
so
So
eventually.
imagine that like Velcro was probably as expensive as this inductive charging technology at one time.
Right. Well, and think about the things that you suddenly see like at a fancy hospital in the city, that were pretty new, right? But they've got the
Yeah.
money to start investing in that stuff long term. And once they start doing it, it gets cheaper for all the rest of us. So it's the future's now, Jason. The future's now.
Oh Jesus, God.
Speaking of the future, what's been
Speaking of the
going on in
future,
Auckland? Speaking of
they caught.
Omicron. Is that
Yeah,
what it's called?
Omicron. That is apparently that is a Greek
Yeah, it's
letter,
the
which
letter O, right? I had
right.
to look it up because I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know that
Either
one.
either way, it's still the bad guy from the Transformers movie.
Well, I
So
thought
but
it was going to be new, NU, because I didn't realize we skipped like 7 or 8 letters
that's why
from
I'm saying
Delta.
that's why I'm saying it's a fucking troll. I'm telling you,
No,
man,
I think
it's
that
some
we just that
fucking
we've
it's some
had a
fucking
bunch of
Transformer
variants.
nerds.
Well,
It's Transformer nerds.
there's been a bunch of variants, right? It's just they haven't most
Oh
of them
yeah, there's
haven't
a
come to
shit ton of them.
anything, and now here's this one. They're like, ah, shit, and this one's got the stupidest name.
Yes,
But
yes.
in
Poor Orson
Auckland,
Welles.
if you
In Auckland,
if you'd like to
yes,
go to Australia,
back in the day, good old New Zealand here, when this article
oh
came
yeah,
out,
New
which was
Zealand
probably
is
it was a while back. It was they were in a level 4 lockdown situation, which meant no fast food whatsoever, and two dudes were busted. And of course, like the article's like, oh, they were gang affiliated.
yeah,
They were
right.
busted with a car full of fucking KFC boxes and coleslaw. So these guys
Oh my, and a lot of
apparently
money, Jason.
a,
A
a
lot of
lot
money,
of money,
apparently,
a lot of money. Apparently,
allegedly.
the poor New Zealanders are so desperate for KFC that
KFC
the criminal organizations they're not slinging drugs, they're not slinging guns, they're slinging fucking KFC.
take out buckets of
Yeah,
chicken.
yep. So that's illegal for
Hey,
those restaurants to run, illegal for you to apparently be out and about delivering illegal
we've all
KFC.
been there. Sometimes you need your KFC fix. I know I do.
All I'm gonna say is like if I lived in that country and I read that article, I'd be like, fuck it, I'm out of here. I can't. There's no
Dude,
fucking way.
no doubt.
How embarrassing. How fucking embarrassing in the fucking world is that? I
hmm
mean, Jesus Christ.
yep.
Fuck man.
Well, but then think about what whiny little bitches we all are. Like we've never been on what this level 4 lockdown is not an American thing that's ever happened. Like our idea of
Well, I mean,
lockdown was like, oh, work from home if you can, and like, do curbside pickup.
unless you were in California and you took it serious and you whined about how you were locked in your home and
but
you couldn't go anywhere, and
but
it's like there aren't police patrols looking to arrest you and throw you in jail
exactly,
if you step
exactly.
outside.
Like they
I
arrested
think
these fuckers and busted them for buying
yes.
KFC, and they're trying to take it around town, like drive it across state lines and deliver it to
Yeah.
somebody.
And
Like,
I think the other thing to remember is, New Zealand is probably about the size of most of the states in the United States. And
right.
two, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that they probably have a population about the size of a small city for
Yeah,
their entire
and
country.
I'm pretty sure whenever the
So
Hobbit people show up to film it, it like
yeah,
doubles the country's
yeah.
population or something.
So
Um,
the whole 50,000 people that inhabit that entire island, that's a country. I mean, we guess we should probably like
right.
I guess we should curb our
Prob Probably, but like the next time I mean, if we end up going back on lockdown and people are
mhm.
pissed and whining, I want people to remember New Zealand and Auckland, right?
Where some
What,
dudes got arrested for 10 containers of coleslaw.
right? They went out to get that bucket of KFC, got 3 buckets of extra crispy, and got arrested for it.
I
That's not
mean, like,
happening here. Never will.
I feel like there has to be another part to the story, right? Because like, if everything's locked down, were they like KFC workers? Did they break into a KFC and
Or
cook up some chicken?
dude, hang on, man. I mean, this sounds like a conspiracy theory where like they talk to one of the night managers at KFC and he's like, dude, I could get you some chicken.
Like it's like
Right?
that's what I'm saying. It's like this is pathetic. I mean, it sounds like a drug deal, but it's not. It's a chicken deal.
It sounds like an episode of South Park. In fact, they've done
Fuck
that
yes, it does.
episode. Go look it up. Where when Colorado was like, we're not gonna allow any trans fats in our entire state, and then Cartman's like, oh, no more KFC, and
The
uh,
struggle is real.
I just love it. And again, it just makes me think of how privileged we are and how we've never really been on lockdown, right? And again, I hear people still bitch about it where they're like, well, Governor Pritzker locking us down. I'm like, you've never been on lockdown. And
You didn't get you didn't
even
get
in
welded into your
California.
apartment
Right,
like you
right.
did in China.
Like you
So
did in China, where and then like an armed guard sitting outside telling you to drink this home remedy. It'll get rid of the
mystery,
COVIDs.
this mystery juice. Go ahead and take it.
And then we're gonna monitor you and see how it goes. And you're like, what?
Or
Yeah,
your
drink it.
choices, or your choices die by AK. One of
It's
the
up to
two.
you. It's up to you. I got this bullet here too. We could use that. I don't care. Faster the one way, honestly. But no, even in California, you're like, well, if someone's taking it seriously, they didn't shut down the restaurants completely. You just had to pick it up. Like,
I listen to a podcast of a couple guys that live in California, and like I always roll my eyes when they start talking about it because it's like you guys seriously need to get you need to leave because
yeah.
the way they were acting and the way they talk about it is like I feel I like oh so much mental health. Oh
But like, they
oh
aren't
dude.
that serious out there, were they? Like, Gavin
I
Newsom
don't
went out and had a
well
restaurant dinner. He didn't open
well
up the restaurant to have that meal, did he?
I almost I don't know if people I mean like it's hard to say like right because the city experience was different than everybody else experienced.
I'm sure.
So
I'm sure.
I mean that definitely played a part in it, but like to listen to them talk, like they just I don't know if they took it serious because they were told to take it seriously or they took it seriously because they didn't want people that didn't to not think they took it seriously.
Right, to not judge them. Yeah,
I mean that all sounds crazy too, but like
it does.
the alternative is like I don't know. I mean like I don't know. Oof.
I mean, wear a mask, get the shot. You know,
California's a fucking different planet, man. It
it
really is.
is.
I
It
don't know what
is.
to tell you.
But well, and
I
we've
hate
got the
saying it that way.
extremes on both ends, right? Because we got California and then we got Texas,
Well, you
right?
got Northern California and the rest of California too. See, that's the other
Yeah,
problem with
yeah,
California
that's
is
true.
like
It's
when
big,
people say California, they automatically think, oh, everybody and anything in LA. And like, yes,
right? Or
LA is
San Diego,
gigantic.
right? We're thinking
And
like
and
Bay
and
Area.
I mean, they're still not. I mean, LA is just crazy. And
Yeah,
I think that's the problem is everybody thinks when you say California, people go, oh, and what they're thinking about is LA specific, while the rest of the state isn't necessarily anything like the
right. Like
Los Angeles
wine
County.
country and shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
kind of like
so
when you
it's
say Illinois and people think Chicago, and we're like,
exactly.
well, that's
Exactly.
not
Yeah,
really
there.
where I
Perfect.
live. I'm
But that's what everybody
5 hours
thinks.
away from Chicago.
Exactly. Exactly. But everybody thinks the entire state is like Cook County.
Right. Exactly.
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 Thank you.
So same
Perfect
same
example.
scenario. And you know,
Yeah.
it's like saying Texas and then you go to Austin and it's super liberal and it has this crazy music scene.
Yeah.
And you go to San Antonio and it's very similar like that.
I
And then
just
there's the rest of the
probably I
state.
mean honestly probably I mean probably any urban area. I think Austin really likes to play that up, but I'm going to go ahead and
I
guess
know
that
they do.
any massive city in Texas probably is
Pretty
not like
liberal.
country Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I
but then you go out to like El Paso or something. It's like cowboys and ranchers and nothing,
yeah, but
right?
that's pretty fucking rural too though. I mean,
It is.
that's
It is. It's
yeah.
super rural, right? But yeah, no. So every state has its extremes, and we shouldn't stereotype. Thank you, Jason.
Well, except for Florida.
I
You can
feel,
stereotype everything in
I
Florida.
feel woke now. Am I woke? Is that how you get
No,
woke?
no, because Florida is no, because all of Florida is insane. It doesn't matter where you're at,
Fucking Florida. So there's a song by Against Me, "Sink Florida Sink," and I just go, yes. Uh,
bro. That whole state is fucking crazy.
it seems
Every
like
single part of it.
it's an insane fucking place, and yet like all the elderly are going there to retire right now. I kind of think they should go back to Arizona. Isn't that the place? Isn't that where old people go? That's
Yeah.
where I'm going, Jason. I'm not going to Florida. Just so you know,
Ugh.
if you
Why would you
wanna
want to go to
if you
Arizona?
want to be my friend when we retire, and I'm probably not going to Arizona either. I'm thinking like Wyoming.
I was gonna say because Phoenix is like the devil's taint, dude.
Right.
That's you don't want to go there.
Yo, we almost went out there for Meg's school at one point, and I guess I'm glad we did. I don't know.
I mean,
It would have
don't
been
get me wrong.
different. Would have been
The
different.
weather's phenomenal, except for those 3 months where it's 120
I was
degrees every
gonna
day.
say,
But
is it a
yeah,
dry heat though, Jason? Is it a dry
it
heat?
is. That is different. So that's the one thing. Like so, Florida, like the weather's
It's a moist heat.
pretty. I mean, it's pretty awesome, except for like the 2 to 3 months of monsoon season.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the thing. It's like
Well, that's
where
the
do you
winter months too, isn't it? Like,
exactly like where do you want your shitty weather? Do you want like 9 months of gorgeous weather and then 3 months of unholy hell heat, or do you want 9 months of fairly decent weather and 3 months of god awful snow, rain, and biting cold like in the Midwest here?
I,
So I
I
mean,
was gonna
I don't
say,
know.
here's what I want. All right, I want Like,
70s. That's why you want to move to LA
no, fuck no. And I don't want anything to do with the West Coast in general.
because
And if I
because
was,
that's why everybody moves there
I'd go to
because
like
it
Seattle
really is because
or
it really
Portland.
is perfect weather all year round.
I'm sure it is. I don't want it. What I want is like 7, 8 months out of the year that you can be outside, and then those other
Mm.
like 3 or 4 like you're snowed in the whole fucking time. Like
Ah,
and you prep for that. Like so I'm talking like Montana, Canada, Upper Maine,
Idaho.
like Idaho, right? I
Oh
want that shit. I want that
no,
kind of winter where I'm like, yep,
no,
this is it.
no
I'm
East
going into
Coast.
hibernation, and that's right for just 3 months ish. But you're prepped for it. Like it's not a shock. Like the first year, it's
Mm.
a shock. You're like, fuck me, they weren't kidding about that winter. But that's what I'd like. I feel like that's what winter should be. And maybe that's because I'm a teacher and like so come the second week in December I'm like see you all in a month like I'm gone
Jesus.
and I love that. Like I revel in it. But
Uh,
yeah, let's go. Yeah, Jason.
that's
Apparently, there's
brutal.
money to be made in KFC. I've decided we're moving to Auckland,
Oh,
and we're
Jesus, it's
opening
gonna be KFC runners.
a knockoff KFC. We'll call it. What should we call it? Southern
Well,
deep
TNC,
fried
Tennessee Fried
Tennessee
Chicken.
fried chicken. There we go. And but we won't have a restaurant. We're just delivery. And yeah, there you go. Maybe we'll find a way to get around these lockdown laws, folks. We're
No
coming to
takeout.
Auckland.
It
We're gonna take
it
care of
no
you.
better yet, it's gonna be like a mobile meth lab. Only we'll make fried chicken
We
instead.
make
So it'll just
fried
be a
chicken.
innocuous panel van driving around
Yes.
Auckland,
We pull up
and it stops.
outside. There's a
It pull
grease
up.
fire outside, and
Yep,
then you get your chicken. That's it.
there's chicken.
Smells funny the whole time that we're there, but
Yep.
then we leave. It's fine.
We won't have
It's
any more hair because it'll all burned off in a tragic grease fire accident.
we'll hope that we lose all of our sense of smell, so we don't smell the oil all the time. But it'll be delicious, and I'll get even larger than I already am. I'm excited for this. This is our retirement, Jason. Food truck, Auckland, Tennessee Fried Chicken. Um,
Tennessee Fried Chicken.
speaking of delicious things that shouldn't exist, what,
Oh
what,
God!
what you've got
You
a
got the shouldn't exist stuff.
you've got a special drink for us here, Jason. Natural
Yes.
light
So
seltzers.
so Natty Light, that purveyor of fine alcoholic beverages.
He
Ah,
says while he squints into the camera.
yeah. They're, oof. They're getting into the seltzer game too, and like
Oh shit!
the one thing I didn't realize is who the fuck owns Natural Light?
I don't know. Is it Bush? Is that who's?
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
I don't know. I want to know.
God, yeah,
Oh,
this fucking seltzer shit is just killing me.
it gives me heartburn. But some people, I mean, apparently some people really like it, right? Because
Yeah,
it's going off. Everybody's
it
doing it.
is. And of course, this one's key is the sour flavor. So you have sour lemon, sour apple, sour watermelon, and sour blue raspberry. Now, lemon
So,
and apple, I can see. The watermelon,
oh,
that's definitely got to taste like candy. But the last one, yeah, you can punch me in the dick before I'd ever drink
blue
that. That just
raspberry.
sounds awful.
The reviewer describes it as full. We're fully in Candyland now.
There you
Like,
go.
they all sound horrible.
I'm
But
gonna be
how,
fully in Candyland if you're drinking this beer. Jesus.
I leave it to Natty Light to be like, what's the grossest seltzer we can make? Like sour seltzers? Yes,
God.
yes, please.
The worst part is they
Oh,
actually did like testing for this
oh,
shit.
I'm
Like
sure.
like
I'm
they did
sure.
product testing. They asked people. They did somebody actually developed these flavors. And that
Anheuser-Busch.
and
Anheuser-Busch bought him.
those people that developed those tastes, they have no taste buds. They were burned off in a tragic kitchen accident. I don't know. I'm glad I haven't been ballsy enough to actually buy any of this shit to try on the show. So
If it didn't give me heartburn, I'd totally try all this shit on the show,
ugh,
just to describe to
ugh,
you all how completely disgusting it
ugh.
is. But they give me heartburn, so I
The
can't.
many flavors of radiator fluid you're drinking.
So it just sounds horrible. Like I have like a club soda, and I'm like, this is gross. Why does anyone drink this? Or like a gin and tonic, and I'm like, eh. And now they're canning this shit, and making it worse. Like, at least the gin and tonic is like dry. Like this sounds
Yeah,
horrible. And
syrupy and sweet, and
yeah,
like
ugh.
I feel like it's like supposed to be like an alcoholic Jolly Rancher, right? Is that
Yeah, but
that's kind
didn't
of what we're going
Sing
for?
already do that? Like, didn't we already have that and make fun of it extensively?
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. I recommend the app version. It's really easy to use. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. It can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, many more. I think Stitcher's in there. And you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Um, so I looked it up, and Anheuser-Busch has owned Natty Light since 1977 when it was first produced. So they've owned it the whole
There you
time,
go.
just to get it
There
out
you
there
go.
for you. Good old St. Louis Anheuser-Busch, which is now owned by Embev, some Belgians. So the
Yeah.
Belgians made them do it, I'm sure.
Okay. So, well, I know because you had a Budweiser. They did Bud
That's right,
seltzers,
Budweiser.
right?
Well, and it's
So,
probably doing well. So here they
so
are.
basically everybody, yeah. Well, you can thank White Claw for that. So
Damn you, White Claw.
get the claw. Ugh,
So yeah, these sound horrible. Jason, again,
awful.
thank you for sharing gross drinks that you find on the internet. Or is this your wife's drinking these? That's how you knew? That's how you
No,
found out about them? No?
she's not. I don't. Ugh, be
I had
grounds
to
for
try. I
divorce.
had to try. Shit. No, hey, my
Your
wife.
judge, your judge, Exhibit A, Natty Light sour
Natty
seltzers.
Lights.
Sir, you've won. This is
Right.
over. You deserve everything.
Pretty sure that's emotional abuse, sir.
I think it
You get
is.
the house.
That's chemical substance abuse for sure.
Do you want the kids? No, your call. I mean, toss up. You
Well,
decide. Uh, she seems insane. You should probably get the kids too. No, I'm thinking.
I don't want them. I don't want them to live in a house where Natty Light seltzer waters are a normal thing.
I don't want them to be exposed to that, Your Honor. Um, my
It's a
my wife
crime
came
against
out.
humanity.
My wife came out the other day, Jason, and said she thinks she's ready for the full Christmas experience. She has
Oh
never
no.
seen Die Hard.
Oh my
And
God.
again, I went,
Never.
Where's the paperwork?
Never.
Where's the?
Never.
I was
Just the
how?
movie at random.
She's like,
Not
well, I've
even like
seen
on.
parts of it, and I'm
Not even
like,
like on a crappy network or
I know,
anything.
like
Like,
how it's
oh my
on all
God.
the time. How have you not seen Die Hard? So I was like, well, you're watching Die Hard this year now, and I just
Then
can't even
you got to
believe
follow it
that.
up with you got to follow it up with the other Christmas wonderful movie, Gremlins.
Mm. Now that she's seen, we've watched
Okay,
that
good.
together. But
That is
and I
another
think she's
classic. That is
had
another
seen it
Christmas
before,
classic.
right? Anyway, I'm completely shocked. Um,
Damn.
yeah, that was
Shit.
I was just mind blown. I couldn't believe she'd never seen that before. Speaking of classic film, we have a
Uh-huh.
classic film and book here being translated into an RPG, Blade Runner,
Yes.
or
Yes.
what is it? Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Yes.
Jason,
I
tell me a
I
little bit about this one. What'd you
yeah,
learn?
it's called Cyberpunk all the things. So,
Cyberpunk Part 7.
yeah.
You can hunt
Yeah, so
replicants. There's
yes. Yes.
no,
So this is
nothing wrong with that.
supposedly taking place between the two movies, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, there's
So,
some range in there, some time.
yeah. Yeah, plenty of, and I think the animated series that came out also is supposed to take place in between the two movies. So,
Nice.
but I mean, what system is this running? Um, Son's a bitch.
It's being put out by Free League Publishing, um,
Oh, okay. Good.
and but I don't know if it
Does it
said
say
what
the system?
system. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
assuming D20, but you should never assume, right? Um,
I
no,
don't
I
think
don't.
they
I
actually
don't think
say.
it actually says. But so we'll
Well,
have to
that's
go pick it
fucking
up so
dumb.
we can find out. Because this
Hmm.
is one I'd probably like just to read. So if you're looking for something for your nerdy husband or boyfriend for Christmas, this could be a good one. Um, yeah. Storyline picks up in 2037 in LA, smack dab between the events of the original and the new Blade Runner 2049. And remember, Blade Runners, that's the name of the detectives, right? Um,
Yeah, well, the guys that are tasked with retiring replicants or hunting
right.
them down or
Um,
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean,
versus
like
the
you,
book's a little different, folks. So we'll see
yeah.
if this follows film or book. The second film was a little bit closer, I think, but it's still a little
I
bit
mean,
different.
I mean, this basically is just. I mean, I love the property, and I like both movies a whole lot. But I mean, this is just this is teeing off of cyberpunk, all
Oh
the
yeah,
cyberpunk hoopla, right? Let's cash in on something else here. Now, like,
right.
I hate to be a shitbag like that, but I mean, it is. I mean, fuck, the time is almost the exact same time that cyberpunk is taking place, and they're all fucking interrelated, anyways. So
Right.
it's just,
Well, and
I don't
these
know. I mean,
guys have worked in this. I mean, they've worked on Dune, Altered
yeah,
Carbon, and Alien. So they've clearly worked in kind of the sci-fi realm, and this is
for sure.
right there,
I
right?
just, I'm not sure if this would actually add anything. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know.
I just feel like it could be like a setting or a rules mod. I mean, that's the thing is like Blade Runner the movie worked so well because of the movie atmosphere, and
Yeah.
like honestly, you strip it down to what it is, and it's pretty fucking boring of a game. Because it's because
Oh,
it's I mean
I don't know
I mean
about that.
basically it's find the hidden bad guy, right? I mean, it's
Well,
Clue.
it's one of those sandboxy things, right?
I
I
guess, I
mean,
guess.
and I'm
If
assuming
you're
this
if
will
you're
be
really,
too.
I mean, I guess if you're really into the background and the theme and everything, then this would be super super awesome. But it's hard for me to get excited about, like, because it's, I don't know. Yeah, it's just a theme, because if you're just doing the same thing like the movies, then after you do it once, it's like, I don't know. I guess it'd be interesting to see how they make it, you know, make it more than a one trick pony. We'll put it that way.
Well, the
You know.
Free Leagues apparently won a lot of awards for their
Oh yeah,
recent
no,
stuff.
no.
So, um,
Trust me, I wholeheartedly think that if they're going to do something with it, they'd be the ones to do it. It's just, it's
right.
interesting. Like, it feels like you're just picking. You, I don't know. It seems crazy. It seems like it'd be DOA.
I don't know.
So
I
it'd
don't
be
know.
interesting to see what they do with it.
I mean, I think there are some people, like me and our friend David, who kind of like just collect RPG books because, well, I think you and I are probably
I've
both
yeah,
guilty of this.
I've
But,
I've already started doing that. I mean, it's
um,
not you guys.
well,
I've got a I've
they're fun
started a
to read.
collection of those too. Oh yeah,
They're
for
fun to
sure.
read. The fluff behind them is interesting. I like exploring
Hmm.
how the games work too, the core mechanics and how they might be
I, I
different.
highly I highly recommend the Cyberpunk Red book.
Yeah, right. You've highly recommended
It's
that, and
it's
I
it's a
picked
lot
up
of fun to
Mothership
read.
after you
Oh,
got it.
there you
I
go.
read through it, and I was like, dude,
There's some
sick.
fun stuff in there, right? And
Yeah,
it's neat. The background's fun. The writing's good. Mork Borg, that's
right.
phenomenal.
And that's
The
definitely on
upcoming,
my list.
dude. Have
And
you
the
been watching the
cyborg one,
Kickstarter?
is it going off?
They're fucking
I'm
annihilating
sure.
their
I'm
goals.
sure.
Like every
Well,
time, like every email I get is, well, we ran out of stretch goals again. We'll have to come up with some more. And then the next email comes out, so we're really blown away. We have to figure out more stretch goals. And the next one is like, um,
yeah.
yeah, maybe we gotta more more money came in. Gotta, not sure, more. We gotta figure more stuff out. Yeah, we'll
I
figure
should
more
tell my
stuff out.
wife to get that for me for Christmas. Is there still time to throw in on that one?
Oh man,
Because
that's good.
they do
That's a
they
good
do
question.
stuff differently, right? Like their approach to RPGs is so much
It's
differently than everyone
they're
else.
yeah. I mean, their book is basically, you're going to tell a story, and we'll just give you the tables to resolve it, and then you do what you want to get this,
I
like,
like that. I like that
yeah.
stuff.
It's
Um,
it's it's become the whole, like, collaborative thing, right? That's a big thing now for RPGs. It's sort of
I dig
changed
it. And
here.
look, hey, the Blade Runner one, that's something I'd like to have on my shelf, even if I never play it. Right? Like I've got the Dresden Files one, and I'm glad I have that. And I think I've played it twice, and it's just a fun read. And the system is cool, and that one's off Fate, and which
Hmm.
has some quirks, but it's a neat little system. But I'm sure whatever they're doing with Blade Runner, they'll like. I kind of like D10s and D20s myself, but our percentile dice, everybody has their thing, right?
Hold
But
on,
um,
hold on. I'm getting there.
I'm definitely interested in this one. And I'm
Do you
glad you
find
brought it to my attention. So,
Kickstarter is like really weird? Like you can't
oh
just
yeah,
you
oh god,
you straight search stuff and it is like fucking bananas. Like you got to have the fucking direct link. Here we go.
pretty much.
Here we go. There's 3 days to go.
So I could still get in on it. There's still time. But by the
Yes.
time you're hearing this, it's
So
probably over. So
yeah, so there's 3 days to go. This will be done December 1st. So yes, this episode will drop afterwards. So we're sorry. So here's the deal. The goal was $11,029. Okay.
okay,
Okay. You ready for what they've
is it
gotten?
insane? Is it crazy?
394,161.
Holy shit! Just a little bit. Just a little bit extra.
Yeah. So originally
Is
they were looking for
is that like three?
101,000, whatever their currency is, SEK,
Yeah.
and they got 3.6 million SEK.
Jesus.
So that's 360 times
I
or
was gonna
36
say that's
times.
a
Yeah, 36 times.
ridiculous amount. Good
Yeah.
for them, man. Good for them. And again,
5,789 people have backed it.
they're doing a good product and they're doing something unique.
That's
And this is the
that's a
sci-fi
lot of
version,
books.
folks. Cyborg,
That's a,
is that what it's called?
yeah,
Cy-
that's a lot of books. That's
it's,
almost 6,000 books they're going to publish.
how much they want for a book? Is it
Um,
expensive? Is it rough? It's like 20
well,
bucks, 40
I,
bucks.
alre- I already I already
You're
put my
already in.
thing in. Yeah, I'm already in. Sorry.
You're already in.
Fucking
I
nerds.
don't even remember.
I
I
don't even
backed it
know.
the
I
day
don't.
of. Well, I remember it
Oh, here
popping
we
up and
go.
I shared it with you because I
Oh,
was like,
okay.
dude,
Yeah, and
I think I've
I was
followed it.
already
I think I
I
saved
was
it.
already I was already up on that dick.
Dude, yeah,
I'm
they're
trying to
they're
find
crushing it. 3 days to go.
13
I'm
13
tempted.
bucks for the PDF. $49 for a book in the PDF,
That's
and
not
then it
bad.
goes up from there. Yeah.
That's not bad at all. And again, the
So
art looks great. The style is really
and
cool.
they're once again they're just adding more and more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many fucking
I mean that
stretch goals
that
they've
would
had
be a
already.
great Christmas present. I wonder because you get the PDF
Yeah,
before
and
Christmas,
the art is phenomenal.
and then next summer you get the full on
They
thing.
have a Spotify playlist of music to listen to. Hold on, I might have to open this up and favorite this so I can
Yeah, you
listen
can
to it
follow it
later.
on there. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty sick. It's pretty. I'll drop it in
they got
the
Apple
live show
Music,
here in case you're all
Acid
wondering what the hell we're
Packs.
talking about. But
Oh
anyway,
no.
I'm definitely excited for that Kickstarter, and there's just a lot of cool stuff on Kickstarter. We're so lucky to live in a time when, again, I mean, how many people you think that is? 10,000 people can all come together and be like, we do want this. Make us this, right? And then
Oh no,
you
no,
can afford to do it.
it's exactly 5,789.
So just shy of 6,000 people have said, "Hey, we want that," right? Like,
Well,
because
yeah.
out in
Yeah.
the mass market, that's never going to happen. Like, you're never going to be like, I don't know. I think we could reach about 5,000 people with this product, right? But with Kickstarter, you can do that kind of shit. You can get your money up
Yeah.
front and be like, all right, we're going to make that many
Well,
copies plus 10% or something and sell it on our website, and you cover up front costs so we aren't risking anything, and maybe we don't make a bunch, but we got to make something that we
well,
believed in.
I'll do you one better. At no time in the history of man have you been able to publish whatever you want for as small amount of people as you want, because that's
Right,
the thing is
right.
like the publishing houses used to be the gatekeepers. So
Oh yeah,
if what you were writing they didn't think was going to be worthwhile or sell them 10,000 copies, you were fucked and no one would
right.
ever hear your
It's
voice.
not going to get
And
published.
this is going to be a hardback. I mean, that's the first.
Pretty
The
sick.
Morkborg is a
It's
hardback book, and this is
so
it's like
cool.
it's crazy that you can just do that. Like you don't like you can honestly like you can publish anything to Amazon. There's a
Right.
buddy of mine who is a writer, and he wrote a book, and I thought it was awesome, and I kept like I was on his ass, like,
Hmm.
dude, just make it a fucking Kindle book.
Yeah.
Just put it on there, and you can actually publish physical books through. At least maybe you used
You,
to be able to.
you can
But
print to
you can
order
do that.
stuff.
You can
Yeah.
print. Yeah, I mean that's
No,
fucking phenomenal.
it is. It
Um,
is. Of course,
actually,
you
I'm
get
pretty
bad
sure. I'm
shit
pretty
too,
sure.
like 50 Shades of Grey, but you get great shit too.
Yeah,
One
I
of the
think I bought a couple
podcasters.
print to orders actually.
That's
Now
nice.
I think about
One,
it. Go
one
ahead.
of the podcasters I listened to, Andrew Main. He was a musician or magician, and he did a podcast. He still does it, I think, called God, not Strange Things, but something like that. Weird Things. Yeah, Weird Things podcast or something. Him and a couple other guys just do it, and they talk about like weird crypto animals and shit. And but he's a writer too, and he finally
Hmm.
did that. Like none of the publishing companies were interested in him because he was writing like horror detective novels or some shit. And finally he's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna put it out on Amazon, and it took off. A bunch of his fans picked it up and liked it. Next thing you know, he's got deals with publishing companies because they're like, oh, this does have an audience. And he's
Oops.
like, told you.
Suck my
Like,
dick.
right,
Did he
to
say suck my dick?
right next
I hope
week.
so.
So what
Waka waka waka.
what are you drinking now? You just pour a new one, or is that the same
Yeah,
thing?
no, I'm switching it up here. I dumped that into the dick of the cord. This is Charlatan American Pale Ale from Maplewood up in
Ah,
Chicago.
that sounds familiar. I think I've had that one.
Yeah, so
How
this is
is it?
pretty good. I like it. Maplewood is really wild. Like, so on the back of their cans, they like give all this like notes, and they tell you about the grain and the hops, and they tell you all about it. And,
That's cool.
uh, excuse me, that's disgusting. Yeah, it's kind of super nerdy, but it's kind of cool at the same time. So this is a
Especially if
much
you're into brewing and you can try to like
yeah
recreate
yeah
something
yeah
about
yeah
that beer that you liked.
yeah.
That's cool, dude. Very cool.
But
All right.
this is a nice clean drink. It's not radiator fluid.
it's it's not 12% alcohol, huh? Well,
Uh-uh.
good. I'm glad you have something a little more. Oh shit.
It's like
So,
water. It's like water now.
I bet compared to what you've been drinking. So,
Ugh.
so to wrap this shit
Let's
show
finish
up.
this. Let's finish this
What
shit show up.
what do we
Yes.
got here? Shit or
All right,
not? Huh?
we got a shit or not. Yes.
Shit or not?
So if we it's been a while since we've done one of these because we've been talking about TV shows and whatnot for a while, but this is going to be three things, and you have to say if it's shit or it's not. So the first one, where we go. All footage ever committed to film for a movie release to purchase. So this is the hat tip to the 76 hours of Lord of the Rings
Oh
and
Jesus.
uh, the Zack Snyder Justice League cut and everything else. So basically, it's more of a question of, is everything ever done to put a film worth it or is it not? So it's a high or low.
So probably like a controversial answer either way, but I'm gonna say
Yes, because you really can't sit the fence on this one. It's
right.
got to be it's an up or down vote.
I mean, I'll be my typical opinionated self and say absolutely not. I don't want all the footage. You make
Uh,
cuts for a reason.
uh,
Like and you don't want it. You don't want something to be too long. There's such a thing as too long, and like 6 or 7
that's what she
hours
said.
is too long, right? Yeah, no doubt. She's worn out by then, and you should be too. So
uh,
yeah. Now I mean, let's let the editors do their job. And even a lot of the directors. What didn't Peter Jackson say? Like he prefers the
theatricals.
theatrical. Yeah,
Yeah,
because they cut them that way
yeah.
for a reason, and they're pretty good, right?
So
Um,
I'm right there with you, honestly. I know the caveat is so. I guess my thing is for every movie that was better when they went back, there are literally thousands of movies that are as good as they're ever going to get,
mhm.
trimmed down to their theatrical time.
And aren't you talking there about someone like it wasn't properly edited or it wasn't well
Oh,
directed? Like to me, right?
there's all that fucking whiny stuff about it was the director's cut, and then like so I'll give
Mhm.
Blade Runner is a
Blade Runner
great
is a great
example.
example. Yep.
There's like what five
The
different fucking
final cut
versions
is
of
the
it.
one that I like, Jason.
Yeah, yeah, but that's the thing is like the final cut isn't really any different than the theatrical cut, other
I
than it
don't.
cleans up some of the talking and stuff like that, and
Yeah, I don't think it
whatever
really does.
whatever the perceived errors were, blah blah fuckity blah blah. And then like
Right.
you can pivot into George Lucas and the Star Wars massacre, right?
God help us all.
Right.
Can we please
So
forget that? But we can't because you can't find the originals anymore, can you?
correct.
Okay.
And then
Thank you for
there's
ruining my childhood, Lucas.
Spielberg going back with ET because
What
he got shamed into it by Lucas. Fuck
what
them both.
was that?
Um,
Is there a cigarette scene? Is that what they took out or
no, well the cops had guns when Elliot was flying on the bike, and they went back and digitally edited them into pointing radios, which is fucking dumb as shit.
what? Who cares? Oh my god.
Yeah,
Anyway,
because
so
it makes a whole lot of sense the other
the,
way. But
I
anyways,
hate the revisionist stuff. Like deal with it, and again, especially
yeah,
when it was nothing. Lucas trying to go back and edit the originals and like put in a bunch of CG and shit. Why? Part of why we liked it is because it was this low budget production stuff with miniatures and stuff, and you made it look decent for the
yeah.
time. It looked great.
Well,
Yeah, today it doesn't look as great, but who cares?
lest we not forget the Han shot first
Yeah.
controversy,
Yes, he totally did.
which is probably ultimately ironic because even though nobody saw Solo the movie, at the very end of that, and spoilers not spoilers, um, yeah, he does. Like he
He
literally
shoots him.
just shoots a fucking dude straight up and like
Dude,
just shoots him
he's a dirty
because he's the
smuggler.
bad guy.
He
He's the
yeah,
bad guy.
he's an
even
outlaw.
if even if he's not the bad guy, he's still the bad guys. And yes, he did shoot another bad guy who was more bad than him and double crossed him. But basically, the very like last scene of the movie is the bad guy's like talking to him because he's gonna put the fucking fix on him, and Han just literally just shoots him and kills him straight up.
Right. Well,
It's not even there's
in the original
not
cuts,
even not
Han
even a
shoots
nod.
Greedo first. Like
Yes, yeah,
every time. It wasn't
he shot
until
him.
the revised what did he fucking call those? Idiot.
Special editions.
I wish he had
This
done
the
that.
special editions. The special editions were really good, except for little garbage like that. And then they went bananas with the whole like, oh, we're gonna put in the Jabba the Hutt scene that was never in there originally because we couldn't do it. And the worst part about it is nothing. It
Yeah.
adds
Yeah,
nothing.
it's nothing.
It
It's
is a
nothing.
waste of time. It's like a fucking masturbatory flex, and
Right.
it's. I
Right.
think maybe that's the biggest thing, right?
Mhm.
That's the worst thing
Look
about
what
it
we
because
can do.
if it made the movie better, I'd be like, fucking A, man, this made this movie so much better. But it
But
didn't.
the
So
movie
it's
was
just dumb.
great already. It didn't need to,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
No, it's
Because
completely ridiculous,
they cut it to make it the best they could. And
right?
that's the thing. Like, and don't get me wrong, I've
Mhm.
watched movies like a good example is Aliens.
Okay.
Aliens is a great example, okay? In the theatrical release,
Okay.
they cut I think like 13 minutes out of it. I mean it's a pretty long movie anyways.
Yeah,
Um, no,
I'm
maybe
trying
it
to
was more than
remember
maybe it's
which one
20
I've
maybe it's
seen.
29 minutes. Maybe it's
Okay.
29 minutes they cut out of it. Aliens is the one where they go to the planet
Yeah, the
and
prison
she
planet.
faces no aliens is they go to the colony
Oh,
LV
the second one?
429. Yeah, and
Oh,
she faces off with the queen with the robot suit thing. So they
okay,
cut
okay.
the theatrical release is like I don't know 20 some minutes shorter, and basically what it
No
is the
kidding.
opening scene is you ride along with the family that finds the derelict spaceship and gets infected first. And then there is a scene deep into the movie where they set up a bunch of autonomous turret guns that wipe out an ass ton of the aliens.
Yeah,
Um,
and that
and
got cut.
like, yeah, and because
Oh,
you don't,
doesn't really
it's
add
not, it
anything.
doesn't
It's
add anything. But the
right.
funny thing is once you watch the director's version or or the full version or whatever you want to call it,
Hmm.
then you see points in the movie that like, oh shit, because you didn't really catch what they were saying or why they were saying things
Hmm.
in like the timing, but then you have those added pieces and you're like, fuck, now I get it. Because it's like it happens when you watch the theatrical version and you're like, well, that's kind of bizarre, right? Because they like there's like a it feels like there's time missing, like,
I got
but
you.
then you
I got
watch the
you.
scene together and you're like, oh shit, that's what it was. But
I got you.
but if you didn't see it, you wouldn't know, so it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter.
Well, right.
Now that I've watched it, I could never go back to watching the theatrical and thing and not be like, oh, that's when that scene's supposed to happen. So it's I don't know. It's kind of a I guess a Pandora's box of it,
Well, and we need to remember
but
that
you
back
definitely
then you didn't do long films either. What was the longest film probably back then? Like 2 hours. Now we've got films that are
well
three hours long, right?
I think Aliens clocked in originally at like 2:19. Like it was a
So
fucking
they
long
were
ass
like, "We're
movie.
pushing it. We got to
That
cut
was a
time,
long ass
right?"
fucking movie.
That's
Oh,
long.
for
For
sure.
back then, that was very long. Today, you
Oh
got
yeah,
3 hour
hell yeah.
ones, and it's
Yeah, yeah.
some people don't
It,
mind, and some people think that's a
but
little long.
I highly recommend the special edition because
There you go.
it really fleshes everything out quite a bit more, and it is awesome. And those guns are the automatic gun thing is really cool because you see more of the banter and
Nice.
stuff between the team, which is always awesome. So that's one of my favorite parts of that whole movie is like the whole like everybody giving everybody shit and stuff like that.
Right.
The classic Paxton where he's like he makes a joke at Vasquez about it's like, oh, they said it was an alien, they thought it was a legal alien, and then there's like there's some later joke where he goes, hey Vasquez, have you ever been confused for or mistaken for a man? And she goes, have you? And it's like it's so fucking hilarious, like it's awesome.
Uh, now there's some great stuff in there, right? And hey, this might be a good example too. Like, where do we draw the line on this? Well, the director's cut there makes that what, sub 3 hours still, or
Yeah,
extended cut of Lord of the Rings that's like 4 or 5 hours long. Like
yeah,
that might be what we're talking about, right? Is that there
yeah.
comes a point
Well,
where you're like,
I
is
just
this adding anything? What?
yeah, it's like I said, it's like a straight up or down vote. No, I don't think all
Right.
the film that you made for a movie is necessary
But are
to
there good examples of good additional cuts? Yeah, and I think Blade Runner is
sure.
another good one, right? But
Yeah,
I think there's plenty of bad ones.
but I mean the theatrical wouldn't. I mean if all you had was Blade Runner theatrical version, you'd still be
You'd be
happy with
fine.
it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and same with the Star Wars. What about the Zack
for sure.
Snyder cut of Justice League? Because
I've
I
never
gotta
seen
tell
it.
you, okay, because I don't watch DC anymore. I've given up.
Not
Like
even Aquaman.
I've seen all their stuff. Everything I've seen
Wonder
DC
Woman
has
84.
been complete shit. I heard 84 is horrible. Is it not horrible? I heard it was a
It's
disaster.
it's pretty cringy. I'm not
Okay.
gonna lie.
Like, so I saw Suicide Squad, the first one, and I went, this is one of the worst films I've ever seen. I did
Oh,
watch
see,
the Suicide Squad, the follow up, and I thought
yeah.
that was good. I thought that was what it should have
So
been. But I've still
so
given up on the main line, like
man,
Superman, no. Justice
I
League,
must be
no.
I must be the only like I thought Suicide Squad was there was a really good movie
The first one?
struggling to get out of that fucking train wreck.
I feel like we talked about it already, but it's
Probably.
the intro is way too long because they
Mm.
try to do backstories on like 9 different supervillains and like
Well, because when
no.
you have a movie of people that no one has any fucking clue about, yeah,
But
there's
so
better ways to do that
s-
shit.
well yeah, you could do the Marvel thing, which is like everybody gets their own movie, or you just do a little nod to the fans
No, no,
where the
no.
fans who know it, right? And they're like,
You do
dude,
the
Croc,
well.
awesome, right?
Well, what I to this. So you mentioned Marvel movies, and that's a good example. So I was just watching Guardians of the Galaxy,
So good.
and when they get arrested, they
Right.
do like the workup of the processing, right? So they're taking their mug shots and all that, and while they're doing that, they're giving you like the fucking breakdown of who the fuck these people are,
Right.
and
Uh,
like
made it a
could it have
lab.
yeah could it have
Rocket.
come earlier in the movie?
Could have.
Maybe,
But why?
but
Let it
but
happen
it works.
organically.
It works when it does to like really like sync, because like now these people now they're connected, right? So like these people are all arrested and they're all so now you got to give something, right? And
Hmm.
why they don't just kill each other straight up and move on, and they do. And I
It
gotta say
works.
I'm
It
pretty impressed by it.
The Suicide Squad tries to do that, but they do it the wrong way. So they're sitting around a
Yeah,
table, they're
yeah,
talking about the people who they're going to put on this trip, and instead of just
yeah.
talking about it and like showing their mugshot or showing them in prison and
No,
giving us a visual of them, they give
they're
us a
gonna give
whole cut scene of each
yeah.
one.
It's like it's a
Fuck
video game. They went
no.
video game.
Yeah,
They
but
went
we
video
don't have
game on it.
time for that shit.
That's
Like
true.
when you're playing a video game, I'm going to play this video game for like 35 hours. So I got
Yeah,
plenty of time. You can totally do that shit.
for
But
sure.
movies are not that way. So again, there's an example of a film that needed cut massively and then you could have
Yeah,
made it work. But since half the
Like I
film
said,
was the
like
intro, I'm like
like I like I said, there was a good movie struggling to get out of that
inside
shit
there.
show.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
So to me, that film died on the editing floor. But what happened, I guess, is they switched directors like three
they
times
did,
or some
right?
shit.
Yeah,
Which,
that was a
hello,
train wreck.
yeah, if you're doing that, stop. Like you're better off probably sticking with the first guy and having it fucked up or not turn out the way that you wanted than trying to have three different people try to make something out of nothing.
I'll point to AI as why you don't do that, where the movie started with Stanley Kubrick and then Spielberg finished it, and you can literally tell when Kubrick died and Spielberg took over.
Dude, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
rewatch that now. I didn't
yep.
even know that. I did not
Just
know that.
just watch it, and when the tone shifts, you're gonna be like, "Oh fuck, he died."
Yeah, because it seemed like it was gonna be way darker. Um,
Well, now you know why.
Now I know why.
Now you know why it was
Well,
a Kubrick movie that
and
ended up as a Spielberg movie.
and I was disappointed with it in the end because I was like, this did not go where I thought it was gonna
Yeah,
go.
exactly. Uh-huh.
Okay, all right.
Uh-huh.
Well,
I'm
that
sorry you
makes
didn't know
a
that.
lot of sense.
I've
Now
just
I
pissed
do.
in your beer.
Well, and Kubrick's great like that because he's not afraid to go wherever the
Yeah.
fuck he wants to go from the source material, right? Versus a lot of other people are afraid that they're going to go too dark or they're going to piss people off. Kubrick's like, fuck it, let's just see what happens.
Well, I think the irony about Kubrick and the darkness is that he still knew how to make a movie.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You know,
He,
Coppola's good for that too. I mean, he can make a dark fucking movie, but it's not unwatchable.
yeah. Nope, you're
Like
not wrong.
like take
You're not wrong.
look at Apocalypse Now. That could be, and I've watched the
That's a
original
good
and I've
one.
watched Redux and a redo or whatever you want to call it, and
Redux.
it should be a hard movie to watch,
Yep.
but it really isn't. Even
No,
though
it works.
I mean like when you step back from it, there is a ass ton of fucking footage, and there is very little actual like script, right? I mean like
It's not a lot of
I've
plot.
watched and there's not a lot of talking, and
Yep.
there's it's all visual, right?
Right.
The camera is giving you so fucking much without people talking. Like I feel like with the I'll give you a good example. So have you watched Red Notice on Netflix?
We just watched it last week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so that movie is a perfect example of how filmmaking has changed, where cuts don't last more than a few seconds.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
Moves fast.
exposition is the only way to do these movies because there's just so much shit happening so quickly that you can there's never there's there let me put it this way. I
Bam, we're in
highly doubt
India. Bam,
I
we're in Europe.
highly I highly doubt there is ever on the in the script establishing shot written anywhere
Probably not.
because there's nothing.
Yeah.
Is frantic, and um it's almost like headache inducing at sometimes.
The pace
And I
is like
think,
ADD, right? Like it's like bam,
oh my
bam, 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 bam.
god,
Yeah.
it's tiring. It's
Oh
tiring to
yeah. The
watch
the
some of
first
these
5 minutes
movies.
of that film, I think, were in three different locations, and we're not talking like different buildings. We mean like countries. And look, it's a kiddie family spy
But
movie,
do
right? It's
but
fine.
but
It's
do
fine for what
but
it
like
is. But
but
is it art?
like
No.
but not even that. Like just the exposition-y info dumping. Like it's the Interpol lady's walking with a bunch of Interpol agents, and she's telling them telling you the audience
Hmm.
everything you need to know to even grasp what the fuck's going on. And like the whole time I'm just sitting there, I'm like, why would she be telling her fellow agents everything they would already know
Just now, yeah. Like
while
we're
walking? I'm
already
like,
on the mission
right.
right now.
It's just, but that's it's so weird that that has become like a trope,
Hmm.
cliche, that's become an acceptable plot device. And I'm sorry, I love The Rock, but that is a giant fucking piece of shit, garbage ass fucking movie. And I'm sorry that it is like the biggest Netflix movie and all. It's like, if
Oh,
anything,
I enjoyed it for what it
I,
was, but
I
it's
hate
not
to tell,
great.
I hate to tell The Rock, like, I'm glad you're super proud of it and you
He's
think it's
making
super
money, dude.
awesome,
He's making money.
but you made absolute trash. It's fucking trash. It's the Fast and the Furious movies are better than that pile of shit.
Ooh, I don't know about that. That's a
Oh
low
yeah,
bar. That's a low bar. I mean,
dude.
this is a family-friendly like spy thriller nonsense, and you got Ryan Reynolds in it dropping hilarious one-liners from time to
No,
time.
no, no. I'm sorry. I'm done.
It's
I'm done with him
it's what
too.
it is.
He is Johnny Depp doing fucking Hunter S. Thompson in every movie ever, pretending like they're different characters. So Ryan Reynolds has been doing Deadpool since Blade 3. Okay,
Yeah,
can we
pretty
just can we
much.
stop? Can we stop with it? He's not doing any. He's doing Deadpool in
Yeah,
every fucking goddamn movie,
it's
except
fun
for
though.
me. No, no, no. I take that. The only time he didn't do it was Safe House with Denzel Washington. Probably because Denzel Washington grabbed him and said, "If you fucking do that shit, I'll fucking punch you in the fucking dick." And then that was a good.
Dude,
That was a Ryan Reynolds performance I enjoyed.
I think this one, Red Notice, it seems like that was the script for him, right?
Oh,
Is
but
that
it's every script for
you're
him.
the comic
That's all
relief.
he does.
Well,
That's
what has
all
he
he does
done?
now,
He
though.
seems like he's done
But
basically
that's
just
but that's
that.
what he's become Johnny Depp. That's what Johnny Depp does is Hunter S. Thompson in a pirate garb or something else. That's all he fucking does.
Uh,
Jack Sparrow is Hunter S. Thompson
sure. Yeah.
in
I mean,
pirate.
I could see that in like more drunk all the time, like versus Thompson was, high all the time. But I mean, Johnny Depp also did Transcendence and
Oh,
what's
dude,
that
that was an
other one?
awful movie.
It was all right, but he's not playing that same character there. I think Depp has a little more
Okay, wait,
range.
wait, wait, wait. Transcendence or the
The
window one, Secret Window.
Secret Window was before all that, but yeah, yeah. Um,
Same movie, right? It was the same character, more or less. That weird
I
kind of
mean,
like,
maybe,
he's
but
like
then
he
you
feels
could
like
go
that
Sleepy Hollow,
squinty.
basically the same guy. I mean,
Well,
I don't
I
know. I
mean, that was
guess.
just that was him playing Tim Burton's characters.
I guess. Yeah. So
I
you go
mean,
back
Tim
to
Burton.
Edward Scissorhands, and that's it.
Yes,
I mean, I
yes.
guess everybody gets typecast from time to
Is
time, but
is
I
Johnny
enjoyed
Depp
Depp.
r-
I
is
enjoyed
is
Depp.
Johnny Depp really a good actor, or are the scripts that he works on good?
I don't know. I mean, I
Hmm.
think you probably reach a certain level of fame where you can decide what you want to do. So yeah, probably from then on, it's you get good scripts, and I think teaming up with Tim Burton was a good move, right?
Oh
He
yeah, it
gave us
was.
Sweeney Todd, it's fucking
Tim
great.
Burton's phenomenal. I love
He's
Tim
great,
Burton.
and they brought that darkness out together,
That's
I
true.
think. But
Speaking of, wait, before we go away though, because
yeah,
now that we're on the Tim Burton kick, hey, do you realize that we're on like what I just figured it out the other day. Hold on, wait, let me do it. Let me do it.
no, I don't.
I know. We're on Batman #6.
Isn't that crazy?
That's fucked up.
It's
That's
all
fucked up.
Tim Burton made it happen. He
It's
said,
so fucked up.
"I can make this,"
Well,
and then he did.
technically, if you count West, we're on Batman #7 now.
No shit.
We are. Well, let's. You got West,
Mm.
Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney, Bale. I'm missing one. Affleck, Bale, and now Pattinson, #7.
Yeah, there you go.
That's some
There
fucked
we
up
go.
shit. How many Supermen? We've had how many? We've had 2 Supermen, 3 Supermen. There's
I
only
don't
been
know.
three
I don't
Supermen.
know.
You had the dude from the show, then you had Christopher Reeves, and
Poor
then you
guy.
had Henry Calivaria. I can never remember his name. I'm sorry.
Nope.
Calaver.
That was a disaster
Fuck.
of films. All of those were horrible.
Oh no, no, there
Um,
was another Superman, wasn't there?
I think
Oh
there
shit
was,
balls.
but
So
again,
four. There's been
like
four Supermen.
since like the Christopher Reeves has it been good since Reeves? I don't feel like it's been
I don't know.
right.
I liked one of the Supermen. I like the Superman that had Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I like that
See,
one. That
I
was pretty
didn't.
cool.
I didn't. I felt like
Really.
so that's the one where he fights
That's,
Zod, isn't it?
but that's the only one I've seen
Okay,
of the
so
new ones.
look, in that film, Superman destroys the entire city.
Right.
That is like Superman's ethos is like do no harm. Like his whole kick is
Because
try
of
to
the Kent.
save everybody.
Because of the Kents.
That's his
They
thing.
keep
That's
they
his
keep him they keep
fucking
him
thing.
from becoming a Kryptonian.
Yes. And yet he fucks up the whole city in that fight scene. Whoever wrote that knew nothing about Superman, which yet again shows me why DC's a fucking failure. Whoever is writing their
Mm.
scripts doesn't read the comics.
So I
Their
will say
comics are
this.
good, Jason. Their scripts are
Mm,
shit.
I would say that who's the famous Batman writer? Miller.
Frank Miller? Yeah, Frank Miller did
Yeah.
some
So
good dark Batman stuff.
Frank Miller is excellent, and I don't know
Mhm.
about anybody else. I got one for you outside of that. Aquaman.
I haven't seen that
That's the
though.
best. That's the best one out of
I
them.
should go
Out of the
see it.
standalones.
It sounds
Yeah. Check.
stupid though. Like the whole
Just find
premise is dumb,
just
right?
just find it on streaming
I'll
somewhere
go
when it
watch
comes
it.
out,
I'll
and
go watch it.
check it out.
Because I've heard that that's the good one. But again, I'm
Yeah,
like,
everybody I've talked to,
Aquaman.
Aquaman, for some fucking insane fucking reason, and I mean Jason Momoa is a psychopath too. He's up there with The Rock for being crazy as
Dude, he's cool.
shit.
He's totally
But
cool. But it just doesn't sound
but
like a
Aquaman
film
is
that
pretty.
I would want to
I
watch,
know.
right?
I think it's because his character's name is Aquaman. It
Well,
makes you want to laugh at him.
and like
But it's
in a
it's
lot of the
actually it's good.
comic books, it's like he's the guy who talks to the fish. Like
Yeah.
he's not a very exciting character.
No.
Because I
Well,
don't think
that's
he's
why
been well
that's
developed, right? But
that's
then, hey,
that's why
neither was
that's
Iron
that's
Man,
why
right? Remember,
that's why they totally ripped on Aquaman in The Boys.
right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Exactly.
that's what he is, right?
Because it's
Um,
lame as shit. It's a lame
right.
as shit. But yeah, no, I
Well,
highly
or
recommend
there's
checking
all
out
these
Aquaman.
famous comic strips that are like, oh, so you could totally kick my ass, right? Yeah, if you come in this water. Was it Family Guy
Hmm.
did that, or was it Robot? I think it was Robot Chicken. It was like, if you come back in the ocean, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. It's Aquaman. He's like, I'm gonna stand right over here. Why don't you come on up to the beach, Aquaman? Come get me. Like an idiot,
Pretty much.
right? And you're
Yeah.
like, you're pretty lame. But anyway, I'll go check that one out with
I
all
highly
my free
recommend it.
time.
It's pretty awesome. Honestly, like it's the best one out of all the DC movies
But
so far
hey,
that I've seen.
I'd rather watch Red Notice and see, like, I know this is going to be kind of a
Garbage.
campy, stupid
Garbage.
heist
Absolute
movie,
garbage.
family friendly
I'll
fight
give you
scenes and one liners.
I'll
But
give I'll
at
I'll
least
give
I
you
know what
this.
it is. I feel like the superhero movies from DC, they're trying to be something that they're never
Oh
going to
yeah,
be.
they're trying so fucking hard.
And so
Um,
I know what this is. I see where the bar is. They're hitting the bar where they're aiming because they're not aiming up here. I'm like, that's okay. That's fine, right?
I'll give you this. I think Red Notice is probably better than Six Underground, the other Ryan Reynolds Netflix movie.
Six Underground.
Yeah,
Six
trust me,
Underground.
you blinked and missed it because it was a giant fucking flaming
Six
turd of
Underground.
shit.
Hey, all I know is Ryan Reynolds is a god because he
Oh,
owns
Jesus
Mint Mobile
Christ.
now, and it only costs me $15 a month for 3 gigabytes of data and
Okay,
full coverage on my
you
smartphone. I
you
pay
you obviously are blinded by his cum gutters, and
I
that's okay.
pay $200 a year. $200 a year for my phone service through Mint Mobile. I was paying that in 2 months before. I'm all
That's a
about it,
bitch.
man. Spread the news. Mint Mobile. Go look it up. They're amazing. And his ads for it are hilarious. I'm so glad he bought it because it's great. Is the best phone service out there per dollar.
I've had Mint before. I fucking told you to get Mint Mobile before Ryan Reynolds owned it. God damn it,
Did you?
you son of a bitch! I've had Mint Mobile before. Yeah.
Well, I got it, and it's amazing. And
Well, there you
I
go.
had it for 2 years or something. It's awesome.
Once again, proving you should just listen to me.
I try. I try to listen to you.
You
Every
shouldn't.
every week I spend a couple of hours just listening to Jason's bullshit, and half of it makes it on the podcast.
I was gonna say, it was like, whoo, that's time you're never getting back. You should just
Jason,
punch yourself in the face.
no, it's always a blast, man. And again, I think we say a lot of smart shit and predict a lot of shit, and probably like 7 people listen, and not all of them hate us. So thank you. Speaking of shit or not shit,
I'd rather the haters listen to us. Yeah. So next up
well, we
is
got to get on
pull,
Rumble. If you get us on
pull,
Rumble, the haters gonna listen.
we
The
get that
haters
get
gonna
that
hate.
rumble I
I want
wonder
that
if it's
Rumble
even
money.
monet.
I want that
I
Rumble
Oh
money.
God,
I
is
want to
there any
retire,
money?
Jason.
It's probably Rumble NFTs or something.
Rumble coin.
Rumble coin. Oh God.
So,
Oh,
what else might be shit, but we're not
yeah,
sure?
it's Crowder Coin. There you go. Yeah, all your
Coin,
Rumble
baby.
ad revenue is paid in Crowder Coin.
Where can you use Crowder Coin? Well, let me tell you. What is it? Chile's gonna do a Bitcoin city or something. It was in Venezuela. Did you
Oh,
hear about that one?
no.
This whole city is gonna be running on blockchain. Um,
Oh God.
the
Of
price of
course it
coffee is
is.
gonna go. It's gonna be like
Oh,
point zero
shit
zero
balls.
0.003 Bitcoin. Shit, 0.004 Bitcoin.
Oh my God.
Gotta
That
love
makes
it.
perfect sense.
It's
Why
gonna
wouldn't it
be
happen?
it's gonna be hilarious. Um,
Oh yeah. So pulled
s-
pork sandwiches.
how are they? Are they good?
Oh my God. They're fucking awesome.
I
Are you
feel like they're
shitting me?
also awesome. No, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of pulled pork sandwiches. Now,
Pulled pork is not shit.
here's the question for you.
Yes.
This is the polarizing one.
You have
Do
to
you
put
put
pickles on it.
okay, I can handle that. Do you put barbecue sauce or hot mustard on that shit?
Oh, I
Ooh.
actually don't add anything. I just throw whatever I was served on it. I know
What?
people put more barbecue on it, but I just
Probably.
eat it as is. Ironically, I don't like my pulled pork slathered in more barbecue than it already had to cook it with. I like the
Okay.
taste of the pork
Okay.
still.
That's fine.
Not gonna lie.
Nothing
Not
wrong
gonna
with
lie.
that.
The hot mustard does sound interesting though.
The correct answer was hot mustard, but that's fine.
Oh, okay, okay.
No,
I do like lots of mustard choices. So I'm mustard curious. So
it's good all those ways actually, folks. The great thing about pulled pork is that it works with all of that. So,
yes,
plain,
yes.
full on barbecue, hot mustard,
Pickles,
pickles. You
pickles,
can't
pickles.
go wrong. It's good. So yeah, pulled pork sandwich. If you haven't had one, eat some today. Yeah.
Yes, and if you can't eat pork, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. There's a religion that's like that, isn't it?
You do have some anti-porkal stuff.
Is that
Actually, a
is
couple.
that is that the
Pretty
Jewish
sure there's a
people?
couple.
Is that who that is?
Uh, um,
No,
Islam
it's
too.
Islam. Yeah, Islam can't either.
And
Which
I'm gonna go.
sucks. They're missing out. Oh, it's
Do
good.
you wait a minute? So, what is it? Hindus can't eat cow. Can they eat
Yeah,
pig?
Hindu can eat pig, I think, just not cow.
Can.
Cows are sacred to them. Um,
Right, right, right.
which
I
it
mean,
makes sense. You can see why.
honestly, like pork chops are pretty fucking phenomenal, and so is pulled
Pork
pork and
steak, pulled
carnitas
pork,
and
carnitas.
bacon.
I love carnitas.
I mean, are we
Bacon,
really missing
fuck me.
anything by not getting hamburgers and steaks? I mean, it's good steak is good, but
Good steak's good. Hamburger's good, but we do these. It's a
aren't you kind? I
pork.
mean, like you're kind of. I mean, cow is kind of a two-trick pony, right? You get steaks, well, no, roasts, and then burger. With
Ground
a
beef. Yeah.
with a pig, you can get roasts, pulled porks, bacon, ham hocks. I mean, there's.
Chorizo,
I think the pig might actually
sausage.
be. Well, you can get all kinds of sauce. I think the pig might actually be more versatile than the cow.
I think the
Isn't
pig's
that
the way to
weird?
go. And the pig's smarter than the cow too. So I don't know,
Well,
man.
then
Like
should we be murdering it
I think we should
senselessly to eat
probably
it?
just be eating pig because it
Okay.
when we consume them, we get smarter.
hmm
Isn't that how that
Oh,
works?
don't. Hey, wait
It's
a
like the
minute. Don't
Highlander
forget
thing.
we get heart valves from them too.
That's
Actually, I don't
right.
know if they do that
Well,
anymore.
they
They
used to,
probably don't.
right?
They used to.
Pigs, it's what's for dinner. I like it.
It is.
But yeah, some
We
people
might
can't eat it.
we we might actually get a second. So we're obviously the meat prices have gone bananas. So
Hmm.
we started off this second quarter or second half of 21 by getting a what did we get? I think we got half a cow.
Have a cow. Yeah,
Um, so
we
our
got
deep
one coming.
freezer, yes, our deep freezer is just brimming with beef, and we were talking about getting a pig, but we actually have to get another deep freezer then. So
That's the
it's
thing,
pretty
right? It
fucked up,
depends
man.
on how
Yeah,
much space you got. So we've got
yeah.
the old fridge out in the garage, and we've got the deep freeze. But
You
we
mean the
knew
beer fridge? But
somebody
okay.
who had well, it's a beer fridge too, but the freezer still works too. But
Yes.
we knew a guy who had like a double deep freeze, and he could do
Nice.
a whole deer and then half a cow. And
Nice.
but
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
you got to really move through it then,
Yep.
But
Yeah. So
but
we
that's
bought a
the way to do it,
stand up.
folks. If you aren't
Yeah.
doing it that way,
Yeah.
start doing it right.
Yeah, the missus wanted the stand up deep freezer, so we got that. I wanted the chest.
The
The
chest
stand
is
up is
nice. The chest
the
is
chest
nice.
gives you way more space, but then
It
you got to
really
dig.
does. Yeah, you
The deep
do. Well,
freezer kind
you
of gives you like so.
organize, you stack, you know?
Well, yeah, so our deep freezer has two beef shelves. Well, it used to have a beef shelf, a chicken shelf, a pork shelf, and then a assorted other shelf. So now it's
That's
beef,
nice, though. That's
chicken, and
organized.
pork, and then other shelf, and then we've got veggies from the garden on the door.
Oh, nice, dude. See, hey,
Yeah.
that's a nice setup, man. And you
Yep.
got to consider what space you got. But if I could, I'd have a double chest. So we've got a little chest right now, like a
Hmm.
single. I want a double. I want a
Yeah.
double. Um,
Well, shit, you just missed the
dude.
Black Friday sell-a-thons.
Well, as soon as I get a big boy job, Jason, it's
Oh,
happening.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
save it
back
for
to
next year.
school. Good times.
Save it for next year.
Yeah, there you go. Um, yeah, man. So
What's
yeah,
left?
deep freeze, but
Bananas.
bananas. When I was growing up, I didn't like bananas.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I was one of those weird kids, and now I really like bananas, but they're not really in my diet. But I still,
Hmm.
when I get them for my son, I always eat. I think probably more than he does. So I'm
It's
gonna
good
go.
potassium.
Bananas are amazing.
And
Um,
I mean,
and they
is
got
always
fiber,
banana
don't they?
bread?
Don't they have some fiber? Or
Ah,
probably
that's a
not. You
good
got to eat the
question.
peel, which I don't
I have no
do.
fucking clue. Probably. Who knows?
I don't
Banana
know.
bread, though. That's the best
Banana
thing
bread.
about
I know you're a
bananas
big
is
banana bread guy.
if you don't eat all of them, then you can make delicious banana bread out of it. So you never have
Well,
to throw them away,
I don't
no
think I've
matter how
ever
rotten they
made
get.
banana bread. I don't think I've ever made
Oh,
it. Isn't that sad?
dude, right now I
But
can
I've
recite
had
you my.
yours.
Are you ready? You ready
Yeah,
for it? Easy
yeah.
as can be. 3 medium bananas, one
Hang on.
stick of butter, 1 cup of sugar, 1.5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, half teaspoon of vanilla. Done.
Vanilla extract, huh? Well, that doesn't
Yep.
sound too bad. And again,
All you got.
I've had yours, and I've had some good
Yes.
stuff, but that's never made it.
Yeah.
But
Easy peasy. 55 minutes in a 350-degree oven.
bananas are not
Ching.
keto, so I'm out.
Oh, they're not?
Wife says I'm going back full keto come Monday.
How, wait a minute. How
They're
are
not.
bananas not keto?
They're not. So you might be thinking of paleo. Like keto has
Oh.
not allowed you to have bananas. In
Why,
keto,
though?
you can only have it's has something to do with the sugar content is too high. So
Oh.
you can have berries because
Hmm.
berry sugar content is fairly low compared to a banana, I believe.
What
So
if you get like a really green banana and it tastes like ass
I think
and
that
it's
would
not
defeat the
sweet?
purpose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it sucks because I like them now, and I really do, and I
Hmm.
didn't whenever I was younger. Um, and yeah,
You got to eat that Bohemian rye bread, bro. No sugar. That's what I switched to.
yeah, we've got a few different sugar free options that we work off of, but yeah, I like rye a lot, dude. I think I'd like that a lot, but I just try to avoid it. Period. Because the other thing is you got to like lower your grams of carbs, and it gets
Hmm.
that's the hard part. So like avoiding the sugar is hard, but once you kind of learn how to do it, you can do it. But keeping your carb intake incredibly low. I think as a male of my size, can have 20 grams of carbs per day, and
Jesus
like,
Christ.
yeah, that's like I ate some broccoli. Fuck, like it's very easy to
Holy
hit that.
fuck,
So
man.
you have to really take it down in order to lose the weight. But I'm gonna try it again, and we'll see. Obviously, we're the week after Thanksgiving here, so that didn't go well.
Yeah, going right
But
into Christmas. Good luck, bro.
we're gonna start it back up, and yeah. Anyway, good times. We,
Don't feel bad. So one of our family friends from the kids' sports teams or whatever,
yeah.
their dad decided to sign up for the Chicago Marathon
Oh
next year
shit.
because he was, packing on some pounds and wanted to give himself a goal.
And
So
he wanted to die next year in the
I guess.
marathon. Is that
so
no?
like so my wife's like, "Hey, he's doing this." I'm like, "Oh," and she's like, well, you always said you wanted to do a marathon. I'm like,
Oh shit.
well,
Well,
that's
you're
true.
a
I did.
runner. You run, and your
Well,
wife
not so,
runs, right?
not well, she doesn't anymore. I lift now more than anything else,
Good for
um,
you. Good for you.
but I was thinking, I'm like, I gotta figure out the next time I see him and ask him because if he's gonna do it, I'm just gonna ask him like, you got anybody that's gonna do it with you? And if he says no, I'm like, well, fuck it, I'll throw in for
Oh,
him.
look at
I'll
you.
just cause like that's fucking dude, that's fucking
That's some
pretty
hardcore shit.
goddamn brutal, right?
Hey,
I mean, if
what?
you're gonna do it, you might as well have somebody suffering there with you.
You
So
should. You should.
if
What?
if he doesn't have anybody going with him, then I'm just gonna throw in and then fucking die. But
Hey. Hey, I've got a friend who's training to try to do the Boston Marathon, and she's an amazing
oh,
runner.
don't you have
And
to
she,
qualify for that first?
yes, and so
Oh my
she's run
god.
multiple marathons, and she's going to run some more, and she's real close to qualifying, and she
Jesus
loves it, but
fucking
she loves
Christ.
running, and she's in phenomenal shape, but she's done like a Ragnarok and shit, like she's hardcore,
Ugh.
dude. Versus, and then there's me, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'll like walk on a treadmill or something, like, sigh.
Well, I mean, like, so I mean, like, it sounds brutal, but I've done a half marathon, and then the farthest I
13.1 miles, Jason.
yeah, so
13.1.
yeah, so we ran the half marathon, and then I wanted to make sure I could back it up. So like that's when I was running,
Yeah.
and everybody thought I had AIDS or cancer. Um, so
A little too
then every
skinny, huh? Yeah.
yeah, every
I'll
week
do it. I'll do it.
I was running either a half marathon or like 16 miles. So the most I've ever ran was like 18 miles.
That's a long way.
So I've gotten close to that. I'm no longer in that shape anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm also carrying more muscle than I've ever had before in my legs and everything else. So I
Yeah.
don't think I'm outside of like going and like I know that's counterintuitive to what everybody says because runners have to be super ultra skinny and blah 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 and like
Mhm.
I don't necessarily think that's true, but if you're going for time, that probably helps quite a bit because
I
it's
think
less
so.
mass to move.
Well,
But
I
I
think you
just
want mass to muscle ratio,
well,
right?
well,
Versus you probably want more muscle if you're not a runner.
I don't want to die, so I'm
That's
looking
it.
to finish and not shit myself.
Right. You're
I'm
not
not
going for a
looking.
time. You might be
I'm
going
not
for a
going.
personal best, but
I'm not going for
anything would be
time.
a personal best, right?
I'm not
Um,
going for time. I
there you go.
finish before it closes, and I haven't shit myself is
There
my
you go.
goal.
There you go.
Yeah,
That could happen, Jason. Don't get your hopes up. Um,
it's been a while since I've
that
shit
does happen.
myself as an adult, so
Does happen. It's pretty common. But yeah, no, it's hardcore. I couldn't do it. I think when I was in my best shape ever, I could run 6 or 7 miles for like soccer practice. But then a few years back, like 6 years back or something, I was doing treadmill stuff, and I could do
mhm.
about 10. But the
Well,
treadmill is
see,
so much easier than outside. It's so much
yeah,
easier.
yeah, and I mean
Um,
that's it's funny you mention that because that's for me that's always sort of been the high water mark. Like
mm,
in about 8 to 10 miles, y-
yeah,
for me being a non-professional, that pretty much switches from I'm doing really well to I'm going to just finish and not die. And
right.
anything after that is like you're not really like it's just finishing. There's no race.
Right.
It's just finishing. It
It,
becomes like the mind is slowly whittling away down to nothing to where you're just going forward. So
right. Well, and I'm doing it in the
it's pretty
basement,
fucking zen actually.
watching like TV or something.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm doing like 16 to 20 minute miles. So you're talking like 3 or 4 miles an hour. Like, I'm
But still,
pacing myself. It's a
you're
3 hour
still
run.
moving.
Well,
You're still
you
moving, dude.
are,
That's all
but
that matters.
you're lifting your legs. Like, um and I've definitely gotten to that zone before where, like you said, it's just zen, and like I'm just gonna keep
Yeah.
going forever. And I'm dying. I'm not a breather, right? But my wife's got a bike now. I tried that out today, and I think I'll do a lot better on that. It's like
Like a
Bowflex,
Peloton-esque thing or something.
kinda, but it's not,
Well, that's cool.
because we didn't
Well,
want to pay
whatever.
that stupid subscription thing.
Yeah, that's
But
pretty fucking psycho, but
this one has a subscription too, but you can
stationary
ride it
bikes are
without
pretty
it.
cool. I
Yeah,
dig
they're
that.
neat. They're neat. And this one you can swap the seats just like you can on a regular bike. And anyway, it's pretty nice, I think. I got it for Christmas last year, but this is my
Cool.
first time getting on it. I think it's pretty solid. But again, I got to be occupied. I don't know. When I was younger,
Yeah.
maybe, but not now.
Well,
Um,
I will say the nice thing about the bike is that it's not as brutal on the joints and stuff. You know,
See, yeah,
you can wail away on your body with that without like really, you know,
you're not putting
you
all that
you
pressure on
well
your knees.
you walk away with muscle pain before
Hmm.
joint pain, and then once the muscles are there, then you can actually go run and you don't beat your joints up and stuff.
Right. Like I read a bunch of stuff in my like mid 20s about how running is like really bad for men. And it
Well,
basically
it's
said it's bad for your back, it's bad for your knees, it's bad for your feet.
mm,
And I was like, "Ah, maybe
poor
this is a
poor
bad move, you know?
poor form is bad for all
But
that.
see, I
So here,
probably have poor form.
well, so
I
here's the thing.
suspect.
Here's the thing. Your shoes are bad for you, and
Mm,
you're not running the right way also. So that's the one thing. So
I don't doubt that.
a
I don't doubt
long
that for a
time
second.
ago, a long time ago, I switched to the zero drop shoes.
No shit.
Um, so I ran the first time I ran in those, I was like, wow. I was like, it was so smooth. And then for the next 6 days, I cried trying to walk up any flights of stairs because it felt like someone was stabbing knives into my calves every second of being conscious
Holy
over
shit.
and over and over again because that's what happens with shoes
Yeah.
is they fuck up how you interface with the planet.
No,
So
no shit.
so sh-
Zero.
so
These are zero.
yeah, don't do it because you will be in pain. You will cry. That's how bad it will be because that's how much fucked up shit is going on with modern shoes. But once you get past that, then the next step is not being a heel striking, plodding person.
No shit.
You gotta run like a sprinter. Sprinters are always on the balls of their feet, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
you need to be 4 foot striking. So you strike with the ball and then roll and pivot off the heel. You don't strike with the heel, strike with the
Yeah.
heel, strike with the heel. It's not efficient. And you don't take giant ass fucking strides. So like once you get your form straight, it doesn't hurt because you're using the natural like spring of your body and your knees and your legs and everything, and your knees don't
Interesting.
hurt. Yeah, it's a form thing.
Yeah.
Everybody says that it's a form thing. My
Yeah.
back hurts. It's a form thing. It has nothing to do with running. Isn't I mean, we're historically we are persistent hunters, and
Yeah.
persistent hunting is long distance jogging, bursts of speed, stuff like that, right? And
Yeah.
if that's true, then you shouldn't have any pain at all when you're running, right?
Right.
Because we're
You'd
designed for
think
that
if
type of
we're
stuff,
design. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Or we've
So
adapted to it at least
so
over a long
it's
time.
bad. It's bullshit bad footwear and it's
Mhm.
improper form, and that's
It.
and I'm
It's
not
funny
a
you should say that because
professional.
that's how I run. I tend to run more on kind of the balls of my feet, which I think people think looks funny,
Well, see,
right?
and that's like so. Here's the thing. Like my ma used to be like she used to like my oldest. He's naturally like naturally on the balls of his feet, and like all my kids are because we never corrected him. My mom was like she was like besides, stop doing that, stop doing that. I'm like, motherfucker, you
Hmm.
fucked me up.
Yeah.
You fucked me up by yelling at me when I was a kid, even though I don't remember it, and probably telling me not to do that. But that's the natural thing is you get on the balls and you go like a sprinter, right? As
I
kids, you
think
watch
so.
kids. You watch that's what kids naturally do. And then we pound that into them to stop that, and then we give them
Heel
garbage
toe. Heel
footwear.
toe.
Yep.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Interesting. Because yeah,
Yeah, you can.
that's kind of more how I run, especially if I'm moving fast.
Well, yeah,
Um,
you do it naturally.
right?
But the shoes with the big fucking heels and all that shit, they fuck you up over
They
time.
pull you down. Interesting.
Yeah,
So
you
zero
know, it's like
XXERO, huh? And they'll make me feel
and
horrible.
oh yeah,
Check them out today.
don't do it.
I'm gonna
Don't do
do
it.
it. I'm gonna go do it.
Bad stuff.
No, I stand too much. I think so it'll
Well, I
probably
mean,
kill me dead.
and that's the thing too. Is like if you you know, it's standing. is a very different motion from running. And like a lot of people just do standing jobs with like stress mats and everything else. And like
Mm-hmm.
everybody rests on their heels or shifts their weight one way or the other. And like you do it, it's not just, it doesn't become just 10 minutes, it becomes 45 minutes. And like that's just bad for you too, man. Like you gotta move. Like and
I
the
pace.
office
Yeah.
workers are they're dude, that's like cruel and unusual punishment, man. You gotta get up. You gotta
Yeah.
get up. Go get that fucking coffee and that water. Don't keep it in your
Walk
office or
around.
your cubicle.
Yeah.
Force yourself to go get it. That's just bad stuff.
Seems like. Seems like.
I'm fucking done, bro.
Dude, been a pleasure as
I'm good.
usual. Thanks so
I'm good.
much for another great show. 108.
Hell yeah. Another one in the bag.
Yeah. Build that road, Michigan. Whitmire. Maybe you'll get reelected, but I doubt it.
Unfortunately, I also doubt that.
with, with that,
they
folks,
already tried to kill that bitch, so I'm just saying.
it's so sad that we can say that and like we're
I, s-
laughing about that, but that totally happened.
I
Um,
seriously hope when her term is done, she fucking gets the hell out of that
I
state.
would get the fuck out of Michigan
Fuck yeah.
forever. But poor gal. And
Yeah.
anyway, build electric vehicles, dude, for the win. Um, with that and pulled pork. Oh yeah.
Pulled
We'll,
pork.
we'll see y'all
And
next
bananas,
week,
but not at the same time.
but not at the same time. They don't go together. We'll see you for 109 next time. Stay safe out there. Watch out for the Omnicrons or Jason's Transformer monster. Is it a Decepticon,
Devour.
Jason? Is it?
No, he was a devourer of worlds.
That's right. The Omnicron.
Omnicron.
The
He was a planetoid
the
robot
devourer
that
of
ate other
worlds.
planets.
The classic isn't that some sort of monk thing? A chant? The Om?
The Ohm.
Something?
Uh,
Maybe.
it's fuck balls like lotus and stuff. That's Hindu.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, right.
Don't eat that
Maybe.
cow. Eat the pork.
Oof.
We'll
Pork.
catch you all for 109. See you
Bacon for
next
the win.